Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Okay. Obviously, that was beyond phenomenal. A little bit of a shockwave where, of course, we, for a week jumped completely out of magic and into, well, although we did cover a lot of magic, conceptually and so on, but jumped into things with OMG 2026, which obviously is phenomenal. A lot's been going on behind the scenes, even while you guys are traveling. Actually, related, I think one of the things I'm just going to talk to you two guys, Lawrence and Bryn, and then also to Jeremy about. Well, first of all, I was talking to Dan Burdick last night about some things that he could do. Game companies that most certainly need websites, proper websites. They don't have them right now, and of course can be connected with a great app, as we've seen with with Nikki's help, with OMG's help. So that was one thought I had, and I was developing it with Dan last night. We were just kind of initially discussing it. Of course, he'd need a lot of help to do that, but then that could be phenomenal and really unlocks a lot that he can do. That he already knows about, actual game development, like obviously at the point where he, steps into a company and starts helping them with their website and their web app and some other things that he can help them with, email and so on, then then he can, so much more easily, he becomes so much more accessible, right? Like his other talents. Of course, if, for example, if you just knew a lot about air conditioning repair yourself, right, and you're doing AC repair SEO, then of course there could be other tie-ins, there could be other deals that you had that you could work with manufacturers and so forth that would just be natural, right? And over time, who knows? That's why I'm saying, like, part of what's interesting about OMG 2026, the way it's built, is who knows? Who knows what? Oh, great, let the magic begin, right? And without Smitty, it's just hard for it to be a magic webinar. It's funny, but with Smitty, it instantly becomes a magic webinar. So once I discovered though that Lawrence is native language Spanish. Of course, he's quite literally one of the best English speakers I know. But then he's also first language Spanish. That was, and there was a reason I kept kind of delving into that and kind of peeling back the layers. And obviously, Bryn, you have a few languages in there. I don't know what you got in there. But Nikki's been developing actually websites in a bunch of different languages. What he needs is somebody to be able to like he can output what he thinks is right, but somebody actually has to read it and say, no, that's wrong, or change it or mold it or whatever. So I'm going to encourage the three of you to look into that and talk to you guys offline, about that. I'm not going to use the Magic Secrets webinar to do that. But I'll be talking to you guys about what I think is possible, what the three, even the three of you guys, even possibly working in concert, can do, both for outreach yourself and also, if you think about it, if you guys are quite adept at it, then if other OMGers come along and they've got a client that's in the strike zone, right, but they wouldn't be ready necessarily to onboard a client that's out of language for them, right? But you guys might be able to make that connection, and there might be a way of making that all cool. So that it kind of gives you an additional reason to of course one reason is to hunt for clients yourself, because I think it's just phenomenal. I mean, the opportunity is just wild for Spanish language, and of course European SEO. And I mean, Nicky's doing stuff in Tel Aviv, he's crushing it, and other places. So it's really exciting. It's really expansive. We have it's a very cool career, by the way. I mean, talk about a cool cosplay, right? Like this digital marketing agent. It's so hot right now, so interesting to people. AI is so interesting for masters of it and so on. Okay, Smitty, how you doing, man?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Man, I'm excited. We're about what, a week and a half away from meeting up. in
Do you,
Richmond, man. I'm excited. I haven't seen you in since we launched. You were there when we launched OMG for the first few months of it, but for the launch of it, for the whole launch of it, so for a while with OMG before I moved, but I haven't seen you since then. So it's
do
just
you,
crazy. I'm
you know
super
you,
excited.
do you know what you call someone who only speaks one language?
What's that?
An American.
An American. That's really funny. My wife has a great name for me. It'll be good for you, Smitty. Mike, long time no see. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Smitty. That is a gift from my wife to you.
My
You'll
Spanish
be
is
able to.
terrible, but maybe I can speak a little bit.
Yeah, great. Okay, awesome. So Smitty, we all missed you. You were greatly missed. You were greatly discussed in Orlando. We had, of course, the crazy experience this week, and I didn't really acknowledge that overly much. But as of last webinar, which I finally posted, I apologize for the delay and the interruption in posting replays. I'll look to try to get this replay up pretty lickety split. I know we have people traveling. Tokyo Gary, I think, is traveling right now. He said he's picking up his wife at the airport. And then both Michaels are no doubt traveling or recovering from Milwaukee, so we can discuss what went on there, where we are at the metagame. But of course, mainly we're heading into Cowabunga, right? We're heading into pizza time with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So we'll get into that. I've got cards for Smitty coming on the way. I did work on black white turtles, or white black more, the light game, and I built a version of Bren's bomber that's very similar. So I'm going to show both of those. I'm going to pull those up. But exciting stuff. We were able to get together as a group, Smitty, and we were working on OMG 2026. But as I had hoped, and the hope was that if we built this great Magic Secrets community, this kind of meta community for OMG called Magic Secrets, or it's its own thing, of course, but it's also clearly tied to OMG and a part of OMG. It works so well with OMG. It's like a brother to OMG or whatever. And yeah, and so that really just kind of naturally carried over, and your name came up, not less than probably 40 times on the webinar alone. I'm sure we did a big webinar with Nikki. We brought you up a bunch of times, but then when when we weren't there, and everyone's like, well, just if Smitty was here, just if Smitty was here, was what was said again and again. What's that?
You must not have much to talk about if you were talking about me.
And no, we had a ton to talk about. It was incredible. It was life changing. The ramifications will be long. There'll be a lot of ramifications. It's a great thing that Bren did. By the way, great job, Bren, bringing that together. That was super cool. And we'll also have tentacles like Bren doing that. Opens the door to other things, where we'll be kind of a little bit, just a little bit more ready for meeting up in. And this week I'm going to try to meet up with Michael and with Michael Friedman and Gary somewhere here in Orlando. Hopefully I can at least have Starbucks with them and sit down and talk to them for a few minutes. Take some snapshots and see what's going on. I want to do a little bit of filming with Michael if possible. But for his stuff for his paint business. But anyways, so super cool, super amazing. Obviously we've got Richmond coming up in a week and a half. Smitty may play. Michael's definitely playing. I don't know if our other Michael's playing as well, but we shall see. We've already got. I loved this, by the way. When I saw this, when people bellyache about Magic, I mean, it's just not fair to think of Magic as one thing. It's stupid. It's dumb-minded. It's not David Mills style thinking. David would say, chunk it down. There's different people working at Magic, and they working at Wizards of the Coast, and they certainly do not all agree. But some of them are doing a fantastic job, and I'm really glad for for so many things that the R&D team is doing. And I love that they're releasing these sets. I was at Waffle House, and one of the guys making the waffles asked me if we were going to cover Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the podcast. And I said, yeah, we sure are. It actually was what led to me kind of coming up with a couple decks. Um, I got to tell you guys, Smitty, I do suspect, and I don't know what to do about ordering Michelangelo. I think he's going to be a good card. I don't know how well he'll hit. I thought about buying a fractured foil last night, but it's $500 and I didn't do it. And I also don't know how reliable it is buying a pre-order of something. Like maybe they'll just not do it, or I don't know exactly, once it gets up to really expensive. But anyways, I do suspect that I don't know why. Oh, where is it? Oh, this is a different deck I developed. I can talk about that for a second. But Turtle Shuffle. This the right one? M Shuffle. Nah, probably no. Probably Turtle Shuffle. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so I think this is going to be like kind of possibly out of control. So Bill here is representing Michelangelo, Weirdness to the 11, which is he's so complex. I should just pull up the actual card rather than just try to explain it. Go to a tab here. Michelangelo Weirdness to 11 and TG. How about that? Well, come on. Here we go. Okay. Green and colorless legend. When Michelangelo enters, create a mutagen token. It's an artifact with one colorless, tap, sacrifice this token, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, activate only as a sorcery. If one or more +1/+1 counters will be put on a creature you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put onto it, and that many +1/+1 counters are put on it instead. So he's a 1/1, and then if we look at it, just a ton of cards in the deck, right? So 4, 8. I'll leave out the Mockingbirds and the 3 sets ahead for now, but they're going to very often copy creatures. Now, we don't know yet. Do we know what happens with Badger Mole? Like when the Earthbend happens, I bet that Michelangelo is going to give it an extra token. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I bet it does, though. You know what I mean, Smitty?
Yeah, so the creature is a 0/0 and it will get an extra token.
So that's phenomenal.
I'm near certain. So I've been asking
phenomenal.
Finney
So
rules.
for example, when you use 3 sets ahead to then copy your Badger Mole Cub or whatever, or Mockingbird more likely, right? Even more likely. You do that a ton with 3 sets ahead. Then if you already have Michelangelo in play, I mean that's abusive. Like a 2/2. Like it's one thing when you're bending and it's a 1/1 and it's already kind of getting burly, getting busty. But when that's a 2/2, Smitty, or I mean that's a lot.
Yeah, it's I had noticed Michelangelo, but I've been otherwise focused, to be honest.
Of course you have. Yeah, of course you have. That's why I'm kind of delving into this. I'm trying to help us kind of feel it. I did some various testing work last night to kind of help us along, and then most of the rest of the podcast is going to be yours. I'm just sharing some theory crafting here. So we got 4.
It also C-Note Scout is the secret all-star in the deck.
Well, and it makes him really abusive, right? Like because it's a 3/3 C-Note Scout, which obviously is Uno #1 target for Mockingbird, right? Like, I mean, how often do you copy? I copy C-Note Scout with Mockingbird all the time.
Yeah, it's probably the one that I copy the most. Bororoid is close, but C-Note
Scout. Well, that's a good one too. And of course, you copy a ton. There's a ton that you copy. Okay,
yeah. You would think
let's count up cards.
Badger more, but I end up not copying back. If I have a good to go Badger Mole, I'm usually wanting to do other stuff because he's already.
Yeah, for sure. You're wanting to maintain the flexibility. I agree. I often do that myself. Okay, so let's count up. We've got 4, 8 with a C-Note Scout. Obviously, the Mind Spring will trigger it, and often for multiple creatures. I mean, that's where it can be a real fucking nightmare. And then we've got Badger Mole Cub. Obviously, if you play an additional Michelangelo, you'll at least get one more token from it. So that's kind of cool. Obviously, Druid / Jackal. you can get into Mr. Green territory a lot faster and just make him just big, right? Repulsive Mutation, once again, is going to do it, right? And then the only card really that doesn't do it in the whole freaking deck, besides your elves and your pollinators, which are your mana base, is your Tidebinders. Those are the only ones that don't inherently participate in that economy, although they can at least catch a token from the Mind Spring, so they don't sit out altogether, right? And obviously, Mr. Green, right? Good with Mr. Green. So and the thing is, this deck, having this deck turn the corner faster and beat people up at the cost of 2 mutations I was looking to get rid of. Actually, it's basically, yeah, it's at the cost of 1 Jackal that I've been looking to get rid of. You guys know I've been sitting on 4 Jackals forever because I don't know, nothing else moves me. But I want 3 Jackals for sure. And then I've wanted two mutations instead of 4 for a while, because even though you win with them all the time, inherently you're afraid that they're going to rug pull you because they're going to have the instant to take out your creature in response, and that's, you're going to probably lose if that happens if you cast Mutation. But anyways, an overwhelming number of cards. So the deck is, basically you got 4, 8, 12 with the Cub, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 cards that directly participate in, that are directly augmented by this Michelangelo thing. 23 cards, and then 8 more, 12 more really, that are in some way involved. Mockingbird very much involved because you can copy something that gets some sort of a token. Obviously, most of the creatures in your deck, and then same thing with 3 steps ahead. You're very often copying a creature with 3 steps ahead, and then that creature is going to benefit. So I think that Michelangelo is going to be scary. They're not tracking too expensive. We might go to the event and try to snake some early. I don't know how to get, how does it all work? I mean, is the release, when's the release? Is it this weekend?
I talked to Finney about this. So what happens is the vendors get the boxes well ahead of Friday, and they start cracking them and selling them on pre-order.
Yeah, but the problem is they're shipping them. We need to get them in person.
Ship them until Friday, this coming Friday, not next Friday.
When do they start shipping them?
This Friday, I believe.
Okay, all right. So I'll buy some Michelangelo. I'll buy several Michelangelos and get them shipped to me. It's the most likely location to get it, because if I ship them to Charlottesville,
he was telling me that his pre-orders are already. He's set to receive them before Richmond.
Who said that, Michael?
Michael Finney, yeah.
Michael Finney. Okay. All right. Well, I'll try to get some Michelangelos.
Stuff like
it's not out of the question. I mean, you better take a look though at what I'm going to show you otherwise. Okay. So my thought is, as I'm sitting here right now thinking about your time and how things are going to go for you, pay serious attention to this. We don't know what it's going to be like, but you might just club people with this thing. Because it's a lot of viciousness. It's really big, fast. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't even look like it to me. That's why I'm helping. What am I do? So more and more, I'm going to try to help you guys understand how and when you kind of are connected up emotionally, and how when you're not, and what to kind of do about that, right? So I'm noticing that I keep feeling like it's not going to make that much of a difference. It's a 1/1 creature for 2 mana. For a green and colorless, it's not even a gold card. It's literally one of the biggest worries that I have about it. It's not even gold, so how powerful can it really be? For green and colorless. What's that, Smitty?
Is it legendary?
Yeah. Of course it's legendary. Oh my God, we'd have 9 of it if it wasn't legendary. Look, can you imagine in this? Oh, copy that. Yeah, 9 of them. Everything gets 9 too. Yeah, sure.
I thought it was, but I wasn't certain.
Yeah, that would be pretty good, Smitty. Although, by the way, what's the best way to abuse that is with our buddy Jackal, right? Jackal Drunith, right? Because then you will have multiples of them, maybe multiples of them. So I'm telling you, I think that you might just club people with this deck. I mean, this deck might be like, functionally speaking, like senior stomping fast. Like if
Well,
you really look at it.
I've been playing a lot of Danimator, and I
Yeah.
really love.
Oh, well, that's the other deck, and of course, I'm totally getting ready for that. You saw, I've got, I've got whatever Superior Spider-Man, is it Superior? I got
I think I'm probably going to play the blue-green Merfolk Shuffle in some form. It's just more comfortable for me, and I think it's more so like the Animator. Yeah, that's beautiful. The Animator has a higher ceiling.
I love how they did this card. By the way, just so you guys know, I mean, I just want to say this for you people in the card business: never use these square top loaders. Anyways, whatever. I'll explain some other time. I'm not going to chew up our time expense. Not enough people watching right now. Okay, so yeah, I have a pretty strong feeling that it's going to be really abusive. I mean, we might even want 4 Michelangelos. It might just be. Although I don't know what we give. I mean, maybe some Mockingbirds. I don't know. Like, it's hard to say. And of course, with it being Smitty, you're going to want 17 or 18 lands. So you're gonna have to look at that. And sideboarding can be wild. There's all kinds of things that can happen with sideboarding. I don't even know what, because you got those pilgrimages.
Well, one thing
let me show you one more thing I was doing, because you could sideboard pilgrims. Look at what I did. This was a version I built, and I just realized it was more like a sideboard deck. So do you see how I did it, Smitty? So I just put in 4 of these, and I really didn't change the mana base, but it was built to be a more MIDI friendly version. But it was, you kind of see what's going to happen, right? It's a little slow.
Yeah, I built out and played a bunch with blue, white, green, and blue, white Merfolk this week, and
that's why I did this, because I knew it was on your mind. So I was trying to find kind of an innovative way of doing it. But do you see what I noticed? Is if this work, just keep this in mind, because it's a weird sideboard for the blue-green deck. You can probably get away with it. I think the mana base supports it. You see that there's no white lands, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted you to notice. I'm not saying it's right.
There's 2.
I'm just saying it might be cool. Well, and the number might not be 4, but it's not crazy that you bring in 4 pilgrimages and 2 trappers or something like that, or 1.
So there's an interesting thing about Merfolk right now is there are 2 white Merfolk that are quite interesting.
I did buy them, by the way. I have them. So if you need them, I have the Adept Water Shaper is one of them that you need.
Yep.
Yep. I've got 3 or 4 of and they're nice. They're the promo foils.
Very nice. Go ahead and do me a favor and look up this other card so we can look at it and see what we think about it.
May have 4. Did you see? I was looking at the one that makes another Merfolk. Did you see that one?
Yeah. He's definitely a potential player on the team.
You have 4 Adept Water Shapers in hand, and they're beautiful.
Nice. Do me a favor, Mike. Pull up. Go to search 3 casting cost white Merfolk.
Okay. I'm genuinely curious where you're going with this one.
But 3 casting cost white Merfolk should get us there real fast.
Okay. And let me select not collected, because I don't know if this account has it or not. Okay, which one is it?
It is the Meander's Guide.
Okay.
This is one like the region.
Whenever this creature attacks, you may tap another untapped Merfolk you control. When you do, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. No way, man. Really?
Yeah, it seems like
It's gotta be too slow.
Something dope. It might be too slow.
It's too slow.
Yeah, look at the guy to the left, the encumbered Regery. He's like the Moonshadow Light of Merfolk.
Encumbered Regery. Yeah, let's look at this. Oh, I saw this guy. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, while it has a +1/+1 counter on it, Remove +1/+1 counter. So first of all, right, so let's see what it comes down as is a 2/1, okay? But we know inherently just by attacking alone, it's going to be a 3/2, which is nothing to sneeze at, right? And a 3/2 that's going to naturally grow to a 5/4. I mean, we played that Sith Firewalker for a while, right?
Well, I looked at him hard because when I actually played him, he didn't perform that great.
Okay.
But I played him in the blue-white version, not the blue.
The biggest thing is there's just no way to make them. I mean, you guys know I lust after more colors when I have something like, you know, and getting me around Dan Burdick didn't help.
Springleaf Drum is in the deck for sure.
What's that?
Springleaf Drum is a cornerstone.
Oh, Springleaf Drum. Yeah, we knew that would be here. Let me pull that up. Drum.
But yeah, the Meanders guide though is really interesting with the Water Shaper.
This is Springleaf Drum. By the way, let me pause for a second to let people know what it is, because you're definitely going to be seeing just a tremendous amount of this in Magic. So it's one colorless mana. It's pretty restrictive. Tap an untapped creature, so it's only a creature, not any other type of permanent. And then you get 1 mana of any color, and I just think you're going to see a ton of it. Go ahead, Smitty.
The thing about the Meander and the Water Shaper is they may ultimately just be too slow. But the Water Shaper itself is
the Water Shaper Adept. I mean, I thought it was important enough that I bought 4 of them for you, so it must be. Yeah, I mean, that guy. Here, let's take a look at him.
You can just kind of almost attack without even giving a shit because your guys are never going to die.
Yeah, it's so much about getting that mana build just right. Yeah, this is a Adept Water Shaper. Go ahead, Smitty.
So much synergy in the deck with the enchantment and the Wanderbrine tappers. There's just a lot you can do to jiggle and wiggle. Like there was a screenshot you guys might have seen where homie had like 6 huge monsters and I was just chomping them with tokens until I just grew my guys too big and he couldn't handle it. And on the crackback. Bryn's laughing because he probably saw that one. I don't remember exactly how it went down, but it was like, you're definitely gonna lose. This guy has
there's a lot of it in here, like
25. Like, nope, I'm not gonna lose. I'm gonna win. So that's like kind of a I've put that on the back burner for now, but I do love looking into it, especially with the new sets coming.
I have the same feeling about it that it's the type of thing that like right now doesn't make the cut, but down the road might be really explosive. We sent out Scout, by the way, for us. We were big into sent out Scout when it first came out, and then we had a trough where we really didn't use it for a while. Remember?
Correct.
Right.
For sure.
And then but we really kept a mental note of it, and now look at it, it's like, oh, so scary. I can't wait to see like his. Apparently they love pizza.
I think he used to hang out with Ivy, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did used to hang out with Ivy. Yeah. We play it all the time in that fast Bryn's Bomber style Ivy deck.
My favorite deck.
So great. Let me outline a couple of other decks. So I don't drive past them. We can spend the whole time talking about Merfolk or even playing some Merfolk if you want, although there's not really a way to test that on Arena right now. That's why maybe even one of these, because they're closer to what you're going to see. So let me show you Bryn's Bomber first. I find this deck to be really terrifying. One of the things I like about pulling this up is this is more built for Arena. I'm sure you wouldn't play 4 Seam Rips main deck, but I think in Arena you kind of probably have to. Probably you play like 2 Seam Rips and 4 Feather of Flight in real life or something like that.
So I love this. I was looking at something similar.
Okay, and all I want to say, and you can actually do the. I'm actually happier to have you do the commentary on this instead of me. But the one thing I want to say about this before I hand it over to Smitty is just the organization of this. Like so much of what we want to do with Magic Secrets, so much of what we want to do with OMG, just with our life, is accurately representing. Like when it matters, it often doesn't. You don't have to say like, oh, I need to accurately represent how many pieces of pepperoni are on this pizza. No, we don't want to live that way. Not useful, not even cute, right? Like it almost kind of is a mockery, right, of what we want to do. But there are times when it's time to slow down, get the math right, be crisp about it, right? And at those times, we don't want to just sit around debating whether we want to get the math right, right? Oh, is it really worth it? Oh, we can just kind of guess. I'm not sure. I just want to wing it. And don't get me wrong, there are times, and there are times when we are out of energy for it. And so I got that, right? But when we do have energy, this is what we want to do. By the way, I can't even watch this. I feel like I can need to, at least just for my own sanity, put it at 3 seam rips. I mean, I get it like in a really, really fast environment, maybe 4 seam rips. I don't know. But it's so crazy when it's good, but then it's so bad when it's bad. Okay, so Smitty, you can proceed. But and so what I was going to say is accurate representation wise, I can't look at this deck if it's just sitting in a true mana curve where you've got the instants and enchantments stacked on top of the creatures. I find it very hard to represent this deck. So in its original form, like when you pull it up, oh wait, wrong deck. When you pull it up here, they come like all stacked ones and twos. I can't make sense of this, right? This is not how, and I don't do it in draft either. I don't look at things this way, especially in a deck. In some decks, I would, like in a keeper style deck where it's all about control, you're not really trying to rush people, then I do prefer to represent the deck just in its mana curve, regardless of whether there might be a creature thrown in there or not. But if it's the type of deck where you need to have creatures and those creatures need to be putting heat on people, but you also have spells and that, and again, I don't really show, like, I don't kind of insist on representing Merfolk Shuffle this way, interestingly enough, because I don't think it's that helpful. But for this deck, I think it's really important is that I want to break out these things. I don't do a lot of organizational tips with Magic, but when I do, I think they're very important for representing things accurately. So what I'm doing here is I'm kind of split in two. On the left-hand side is the mana curve for creatures, and the right-hand side, besides the lands, of course, which are all the way out to the right-hand 2 stacks here. And of course, if it was 1, 2, and 3 drops, if I had some Clarions, I did think about having Clarions, like Michael said. I think this deck is so inherently good against green. It's kind of its strength is to be good against green. And if it's not already good against green in the first place, I don't know if I want to play it. It's yet another reason why I kind of want to have 4 Flight of Feather Flight. You might say Seam Rip's really good against green, and it is, but you got to kill them.
Well, one thing to think about too is instead of one of those Seam Rips, you could play one Authority of Councils, which really suits.
Oh, get ready, Smitty. If you want to talk about Authority of Consoles, get ready. Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you. And we're going to really talk about Authority of Consoles in a second. The other deck is all about Authority of Consoles. I realized it last night. I took some pictures last night. I just didn't post them. It's been so crazy with everybody visiting, and then Jeremy having trouble getting back in. I was really worried about, not like dying worrying about him, but it was, I was worried about Jeremy getting home with the snowstorm and everything. Okay, so this is a much better way of representing things. This is much more accurate, worthwhile. And Smitty, I agree with you on. I'm going to get deep into Authority of Consoles on the second deck. So we'll keep it in mind. I'll pull it up right now and pop one in. Which I agree. The first Authority of Consoles is just so outrageous, and then the second one is a pretty big fall off. But still can be really good in the right deck, which I'll show you in a second.
I wouldn't be sad if they banned it. I hate the card, but it's damn good.
Oh, we love it. I actually think of it as one of your favorite cards, man.
Well, if it's in my hand, fine.
Exactly. Okay, so here we have the setup, and right. Okay, so this is fine. This is a good way of looking at it. Do you want to explain this deck and why you like it?
Oh, this deck, I love it. I've been thinking about uh, I've faced the white enchants, spellbook vendor, optimistic scavenger, ethereal armor, helpful weaver deck a ton, and it looks weak on the paper, and then it just comes out and smashes you in like so fast, like
And
even if
and it can be so relentless.
on the third turn, but
Like
they
with
also
the ward creatures, right? Like this guy has ward. The your shelter by ghosts has ward. The guys can be big. Oh, you have
Weaver. I'm sorry, not is it Weaver? Yeah, well, Wonder Weaver.
yeah. It's a most helpful weaver here. And what's it called in real life? So people know. I have no
Um,
idea.
I forget. I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah,
But
something about Spider-Man. Something. I actually may
yeah,
have
yeah,
been saying.
it's yeah. You can look it up on TCG. It'll tell you. Sorry, I don't know the answer. So the coolest thing about this deck, the one thing I might change is, um, we talked about the authority councils. I might go to 3 Cecils and 3 seam rips. In the current environment, you also there's like this small tiny part where you have to be careful about not killing yourself with Cecil, because he's first strike,
Yeah,
and might not be below 10. You can kill yourself with him.
sure.
Um, it doesn't happen often, but with
It's a thing.
Ethereal in there,
It's a thing.
it's the worst way to die. It's like tapping your pain land when you're at 1 life or something. It's like bad. But Cecil's amazing. He's also a legend, so every once in a blue moon, I think 3 is the right number. Otherwise, looks beautiful. Shard Mage is all
This guy's obviously super, super good. Because a
yeah,
lot of people playing this deck mono white. This is the reason you don't play this deck mono white. It's deep
agreed.
caravan
Like,
bad.
that's exactly. I've been looking at the mono white deck and saying like, what can I do to incorporate this
Yeah,
into
that's how I came to this deck. Same thought as you. Because
yeah,
I was
and
like,
like
I know.
a deep cat.
And Bryn, you've had a lot of Bryn. You've been in the top 100 a couple of times with ethereal armor decks. What are your? Because I'm sure you tested variants very similar to this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing this one. I look at the deck, I'm like, wow, getting juiced. It's like I want to play it right now. Actually, I almost want to hop off. I'm not going to. Yeah.
I know you're an Ivy fan, my boy.
Yeah, don't get us started on Ivy, the copy. Yeah,
Yeah, we have a whole book about Ivy. She's awesome. She's featured heavily in the Magic Secrets book. Okay, so that's Bryn's Bomber. Very, very, very fast paced. The Helpful Weaver is super sticky. You stick him down, especially if you played a creature on the first turn. If they kill the token, it's still like that double strike. It just really, really vicious. That third step with the double strike usually comes into play. Usually can be very dangerous. A lot of times it might be a flying creature at that point. That the first double strike is coming in. The Bender's really vicious. Bender's a great example of a card that we tested initially and couldn't get him to work in any of the kind of aggressive style decks that we had at the time, but we kept a note on him and he's really come back around. Really good now.
Yeah, the bat is insane in this deck.
What's
The
that?
Well, the Wonder Weave was already insane in the white deck, but the Deep Cavern Bat is insane.
Oh, the Deep Caravan Bat's a superstar in this deck. Superstar in this deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
the life link is so deadly with him. He gets really big. Okay, I'm gonna show one more new deck. Save and exit. I'll save it the way that Smitty said it. Okay. So I have to look up another turtle for you guys. Although this one, I'll look him up in a second for you. Basically, he's a white and a colorless for a 1/1 legend. He has Spirit Link. So life link, whatever, when he does damage, he gains life. And he has whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on him. The only thing that's special about him is that if you have an unblocked attacker, right, then you can kind of ninjutsu him into play. What's that?
It's the sneak guy.
The snake guy, yeah, exactly. So I'll turn to that in a second. But Smitty, I stuck 2 of these in the deck last night, literally because I didn't have other cards I wanted to test, and I was like, I could have bought something, but I just didn't feel like it, and I just was like, well, and I always think because it's one of your favorite cards, so I was gonna put 1 in, and then I just wound up putting 2 in. Oh my god, it's so bad. It's like I just crush people.
When you're the beatdown and all they're trying to do is catch up, it is
But it's so bad because they're also pumping all of your guys. They're like, I've got to come back, and so they're casting creatures, and then all of your guys are getting big, and then sometimes
and such and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can trigger the ley line, obviously, where all of your creatures get enormous. So I actually started main decking 2 of them because it was so violent. Of course, the first authority consoles being so powerful. And then I am playing Aunt May. What's that?
I beat this deck earlier today.
Yeah, it's potentially winnable, but I don't know if people are building it quite the way I am. So the way I plan it,
I drew well. They didn't. They were like sitting with Amalia and like 2 stinkers, 2 of the stinker creatures, and I was like, oh, I can win still. But just saying.
you mean with Merfolk?
Yeah.
Great. And yeah, I think probably the play is going to be Merfolk, but I do want to take this like seriously, and I think I have all the cards for it. So it's also a part of why I'm bringing things up. I'm pretty damn sure. I was checking my emails and for the keyword ley line, and I spotted it. I did buy some ley lines of hope, and I'm almost positive I have every other card for the deck. Besides just need to rope a couple of the I think they're called Leonardos. I'm not sure how many to play. I feel like 1 or 2 is fine. I still want him. I definitely want at least 1. I really like Amalia. Interestingly enough, I oftentimes, if I'll have a Johnny and Amalia, I'll play Amalia first because I'll just literally hope that she'll triple land because I just want 1 more land to kind of make a double play the next turn or whatever. But I think that the right number for her overall is going to be 2, and then you'll play one of the new Ninja Turtles, and then you'll probably go ahead and bite the bullet and play 2 authorities main. It's just you'll have to test it and see, but it's wild. I mean, people can really lose to that card with this deck.
A thing to think about is the cleric, of course, Starship Cleric.
Okay, yeah. One. I have that one too. I do have that one. I'll pull it up here. And I'll that reminds me, I would not have remembered to bring one with me. I completely forgot about the card.
And there's the 3-drop too. That might be
That's
worth.
what you're talking about, right? Oh,
yeah.
You mean the lifelink? I don't think the lifelink one. I don't think the one that you're talking about. Wait, which one are you talking about?
So the Starship Cleric is the 2/1.
What's that one? 2/1 player. Oh, that one. Man, that one's vicious. Damn, I hadn't thought about that.
And then there's really this cool one that's in the corner of your screen right now. Nope, go back.
Yeah, this one, right?
3-drop.
What about this one?
Yes, that one. The one
I have these. I have the foil.
And I'm not saying they're the best choices, but they're something.
Yeah, there's something you could think about. So the Starship ones are the ones that are intriguing because they're just terrifying.
Oh, this guy's
such killers.
The Zoraline Cosmos, whatever he is really, really good.
Yeah, they're really fast. Let me find them. The Starscape Cleric. Look how fast this guy is.
I think it's called Starship Cleric. I could be wrong. It's
Starscape
a
Cleric. Yeah, it's right here. I've got it pulled up.
Starscape. Sorry, my bad.
So yeah, you could fit. Yeah, you could fit these. So anyways, you can test this. You guys can test this. I could test it. I'm mostly winning a lot the way it is, but whatever. It's really compelling. It's all compelling. Okay, so back to Morpho. Turtle Shuffle. So this is, my guess is this. I could totally see cutting something for one or two of the lands that I really know that somebody's gonna like that land. It's hard for me to know what to cut because everything's really good. I almost want to cut a Druinith, I guess. Hate to do it, but gotta cut something.
So I'm currently on 0 Druinith 1 mutation. I'm not sure that's
Zero Druinith. Don't do that. Yeah, that's crazy. Play at least 2, I would say. They're so.
I didn't say I was right. I said I'm currently on.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I think I have enough science on it that this is kind of how I do it. I can live with 1 mutation. I don't know about 0. It just seems like, damn, the first one just seems so good. So let's just compromise it for now. You do what you want to do, but I feel like I've listened to you.
Yeah, I'm on 1 mutation. 3 steps. And I've jammed a bunch of cheap counters in.
Yeah, I know, but your counters are all like these one-offs that don't get you much spring in this step. Like they don't have like the really smack you in the face, except for possibly, of course, sometimes with Spidey sense, right?
So Spell Pierce is suited pretty good for the format. Spell Snare.
Yeah, I got you some spell snares too if you don't have them.
Yeah, Spell Snare.
There's no
deck you don't want it against almost.
I know.
And then Spidey Sense. And then we've got 3.
Yeah, it might just be better that way. I love it. That's a much more David Millsian way of looking at it. I like that. It's really cool. So
Spell Snare looks like it's not good, but it's almost always good.
Spell Snare, do you mean, or Spell Pierce?
Spell Snare looks like it's not good. It's always good though. Spell Pierce, I'm enjoying, and it's. I mean, I can talk for hours about like my thoughts on this particular deck. As I've been.
The one thing I want you to like when you're thinking about all these other counters that you want, just think about Michelangelo Weirdness to 11, which might even be 2 Michelangelo Weirdness to 11. I can see that, right? We got so much robustness in the frenetic counterpost deck out of having those 2 wildfire emissaries. Remember how we had those?
2 what?
Wildfire emissaries.
Oh yeah, of course they were amazing.
Counterpost. So the guys, the wildfire emissaries are forecasting. You never play it today, but at the time it was,
yeah, absolute bum.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it would be good right now. It's protection from white. Anyways, but it was something that gave the deck just more substance. It was a 2/4 creature for red and 3 colorless. It was protection from white, so they couldn't Swords to Plowshare it. Couldn't kill it with 1 lightning bolt because it had 4 toughness, so they did at least need to double bolt it to kill it. And it had a little fire breathing style ability to it. You do 1 red and a colorless, and you could pump it for +1/+0, so it could get pretty big if you had a few, mana up. If you had like 6 mana up, you can make it a 5/4, for example, pretty vicious. So Smitty, you'll have to look at it, and you'll have to see. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about Michelangelo. Maybe it doesn't make that much of a difference, but I do think maintaining like some amount of like threats. But anyway, so test around with it and see what you arrive at. But I could see, for example, 2 Michelangelos. I could see 1 Druinith. I got a Spell Pierce here. Maybe you do the N-Web one, and maybe it's right. Maybe it's really right. Maybe you cut 1 of these, and then then now we're pretty much just Smitty's deck, I think, probably.
I've got 1 Formidable Speaker and 1 Crater Hoof. Can't live without him, man. He's too good.
They're so funny. You know what though? People actually have to deal with it though. They have to worry about it.
I mean, I'll happily send you my list and you can laugh at it.
Yeah, I'm not laughing. I like it. I'm laughing like I wouldn't want to play against it. Laughing, like it sounds scary to me. Again, this is much more David Millsian. Like the way Smitty has this set up is much more like David, and it's going to be more correct. It's going to be more deadly than what I showed you because I'm showing you just blocks of 4, and blocks of 4 are great when you want to turn your mind off and just go to the next thing.
Agreed. So like, yeah, like what we talked about a lot before about this deck is you just want to go wide and protect. Go wide and
protect.
And that's why I want to try and utilize. I'm not sure where we're going to land on the numbers of the 1 and kind of 1 or 2
Remember a null for your sideboard, by the way.
The counters. I'm sorry.
Remember a null for your sideboard, by the way.
Oh, I should. Yes.
Yeah, sounds like a very like.
I was working on the sideboard earlier today, and like all I could think about was like keen-eyed curator, unable to scream, but a null is a good note.
Yeah. I'll try to look through all the cards before I leave and try to pick up stuff like a null. So we've got a bunch of different seesaw here. Let me see what could be. Basically, what I have in here, which many can't have yet, is this space. This Bristly Bill is meant to be a proxy for the Michelangelo weirdness to the 11.
Yeah, I think we're gonna want a couple. So one thing that Finney pointed out to me, and he may have talked to everybody about this, I don't recall, is the power of one.
It's been great having Michael in the group, by the way. Michael Finley, awesome, from a lot of the same crossover places as us. Yeah, used to have a game store. Really nice. I'm really liking how our group is filling in and very nice, very nice group. And a lot of things are happening kind of off screen with some of the people that are in the WhatsApp group that aren't as vocal but are kind of participating in various different ways. Michael Spears, good example. Obviously, he's doing a lot with us with World of Warcraft and with OMG and just hanging out friendships and stuff like that. And then Zach in the group started a group or started working on his website with OMG just yesterday. We're starting to work on it. And there'll be more tie-ins with Zach. He's just such a terrific person. He's want to try to get around him. It's sort of like getting to the beach. Want to get to the beach sometimes. It's just good for your soul. Getting around Zach, same way. Similar kind of Smitty style qualities. Great. Let me get final words from all of you guys, and then we'll wrap up. Smitty, you might have extensive stuff to say. Oh, and did you want to say anything about the Milwaukee results or anything like that? Do we want to talk about Boros? I mean, anything you want to talk about before we wrap up, basically?
Yeah. One thing to keep in mind that I learned recently and hadn't realized is that Wan Shi Tong's Big Bird's ability that isn't drawing cards and putting counters on itself is relevant now with all the earth.
Whenever an opponent searches their library, put a +1/+1 counter on him and draw a card. Yeah, that's super.
It's relevant. It's really good point. So relevant now. You can run that guy out as a 1/1 versus Earthbend, and they'll just like quiver and start crying.
Wow. Because they search their library and he just gets bigger and you draw a card. I think, did I include one? Just let me know because then I'll know to look for it or not. I bought one of them.
You sent me 1 or 2. I don't remember.
Okay. I
don't have one. Think about as it's definitely going. If I play the shuffle, it's definitely going to be in the sideboard for that matchup.
For like in the mirror, you want 4 of them, right? And just crush their souls, right?
Yeah. So currently my sideboard is literally some number of annuls, since Mike mentioned it, unable to scream, and keen-eyed curator, and figure out the rest. Think about Leviathan.
It's unable to scream. There's keen-eyed curator.
So if anyone knows of a better way to deal with Clarion Conqueror than unable to scream in blue-green, let me know. But Clarion Conqueror is real bad for us, so I got to have something. Because the Boros Dragon, it's not just in Boros Dragons, but mostly just in Boros Dragons. But like you're just gonna lose. We can have Torpor Orb sideboard for airbending. it hurts us a little bit, but yeah.
What is it? Torpor?
Torpor orb.
What's that?
Oh, that's for airbending, not for Conqueror. Unable to scream is for Conqueror.
And what's torpor orb?
Torpor.
Here it is. Oh, cool.
It's like the Thrall, but not. I
Didn't even know it existed. Cool.
It's
Glad I
a
know about this.
it's a weird card for this deck, but might have to have it for airbending. Might not. Don't know yet. Might just try and fade the matchup. And then yeah. Anyways, I'll shut up now. There's a cool green card that you can put back into play, and it's a critter that I might put one of
That
in
narrows it down.
for control.
It's a critter.
Yeah, it's like a 3-caster when it dies, but like you can bring it back and its power and toughness are like equal to the lands you control or something. It's pretty good against control, but we might have better plans than that. And so that's and Leviathan's always on my mind with this deck. And Nature's Rhythm, I don't know. Maybe not.
Is it this one?
Yes, Scouring Storm Soul.
Okay. Keep
Yeah.
it in mind. And there's also Tyvar. I don't know if I included any Tyvars in what I sent to you.
Oh,
but you can
yeah.
always get Tyvar.
Tyvar is Tyvar and Sirach are always in the mix too. I need to note them.
Yeah. There's something with just messing with people, hitting them from a few different angles. It's going to be a strain on their will. It's going to be a strain on their energy, and it makes them more kind of like blindsidable. So that's the real rounded decks that we had from David. This is a really great example. Like today was a really good Magic Secrets webinar for watching Smitty like wisely sculpt, kind of a stack of fours that I handed him into a much more David Millsian style deck, where you're going to accomplish many of similar style things, but from slightly different angles, from different cards, done in a different way, and it forces your opponent to prepare for more.
Fingers crossed I don't just light the fire.
What's that?
Gentlemen, please. I've been talking over.
No, this was a tour de force, and this is the funny thing was like I said that this weekend without you, what people were more missing was your input, or what would Smitty say about this, or we wish Smitty was here. When the guys went out at night, they definitely wanted you.
I have a question.
I got to meet some girls. They're like, "Oh, where's Smitty?"
I have 2 questions for Lawrence.
Oh yeah.
I'm all ears.
Are you coming to Richmond?
Yeah, most likely there's a chance. I haven't looked at the logistics of it,
Also
so there's
weird, too. I was going to meet up with Lawrence in DC, so that also makes it weird. So just keep me posted. I'll either see you in Richmond or I'll see you up there, or either
I'll
way.
try to do both. If I can, I'll try to make it to Richmond and then.
Yeah, I mean, don't kill yourself, because you also no doubt you wiped yourself out this weekend. I mean, I'm still like,
Yeah,
just like until I saw that text from Jeremy saying that he finally got home, I was still like, man, still alive.
All right, I'm on the outside looking in from having missed out on that joy. I wish I could have been there.
Well, I mean, you set it up so much of it for possibility, and then we capture the webinar, so you'll be able to watch the replay. We'll get that out. No, Jeremy's been on for a while. Let me make him a panelist. We'll see if Jeremy had any final words. I'll share the idea that I shared at the top of the show with Jeremy privately.
Hey guys.
Hey Jeremy, how
How
you
are
doing?
you?
And we were just saying we're so glad you got home.
Oh yeah. I got home. No troubles along the way. It was smooth actually,
Beautiful.
and I appreciate everybody's help.
And you got sleep.
Yeah.
You got sleep. Bryn still looks like he's comatose.
Just a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Get some sleep. I'm glad you came on, but good thing we got you guys that room to get a little nap, and I'm sure it made a big difference.
Yeah, huge difference.
Yeah, let me get any final words from all three of you guys. You can anything you want to say about the weekend, or anything you want to say about fucking anything.
That was a great
weekend.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, great weekend. It really changed my way of looking at things in the sense of like, wow, there's really a reality out there that's completely different than to what's typically normal, especially in New York.
Well,
And it was a great time. Yeah. It was a great time with friends. I can't wait for the next meetup.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I really that really nails. That's so wow, wow. That's a great 1-2 punch. Okay, Lauren Sabrin.
Yeah, real quick to follow up on Jeremy's. Yeah, there's a difference between kind of like conceptually understanding how your life is different than mine, for example, but to see it and to experience it, and we missed Smitty a great deal. Like it would have been even
Great deal, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
but
Yeah, I wasn't just saying that, Smitty. We were
no,
like,
like
all the
yeah,
time.
genuinely, dude. Yeah, yeah.
It was like it was like, oh, it was like in one of those war movies when somebody dies. You're like, oh, ah. We were just watching. By the way, guys, Expendables 4, 10. It's a 10. It's such a great movie. I'll give you a synopsis of it. Sylvester Stallone basically decided that it absolutely would have been a great idea if Jason Statham had been James Bond, and he basically turned it into a James Bond movie, including randomly having Megan Fox as the Bond villain. But she did a great job too. Really well put together, and Sylvester Stallone put it together. But anyways, in the movie at some point there was like a dead character. I don't want to say who, that people were mourning. They're like, oh man, we wish that so and so was here. And so that it was like that, Smitty. It was like people were talking about you. It was like, oh man, let's throw one back for Smitty. He was a good one.
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead, Lord. I didn't mean to overly interrupt what you were saying.
No, it's basically that. I'm still consolidating, still reeling from everything, still trying to make as much of it stick in my mind as I can and kind of like
So many
internalize it.
revelations, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I told you, Jeremy, successive revelation, right? It's just the time
Yeah.
for successive revelation. And then you like sometimes you can only see with your feet. And people are so sure, they're like, oh, man, I can see with my eyes. I got total eagle eyes. Bro, there's
Yeah.
a wall in the way. Eagle eyes. Like that's what happens when somebody feels like they can read somebody before they can really read them, before they've walked to a vantage, right? That's so much when somebody wants to take pride in reading somebody before they've really read anything. They're just like, hallucinating. Like all they've read is a hallucination from their mind.
Right.
That's the revelation, baby.
Yeah.
Brent?
What a revelation. Layers upon layers. Was preparing some notes for today. Just one page. So
You made it happen. You're the one who made it happen. Let's one more round of applause for Brent.
Absolutely.
Really made it
Thank you,
happen.
bro.
We have the great photo from it. We have the great couple of them. We have the great webinar, 2 hours and 45 minutes. All the memories, all the inroads that were made. Kurt's already got a client starting up on a site with making good drops. Yeah,
Wow.
wow. This shit's happening. I mean, there's a lot of real ramifications from what you did, Brendan. And I hadn't even brought up OMG 2026 hardly to Kurt yet. He just, he's close in our network. But then when I, found out that you were coming to Orlando after the last webinar we did, he was somebody I knew he could just drive over from Tampa. And of course, he'd been at Monetize Traffic Live. And I let a couple people from Monetize Traffic Live know that where I thought that maybe they could make a move, but he was somebody who came out. So anyways, there's a number of things that happened. It was a good job that you put together, but of course you got to pay the piper and get some sleep.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
You look like a zombie.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I don't need sleep.
he's the sexiest version of Steve Buscemi you'll ever see.
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi was the bomb. That guy really really made a lot of those movies that he was in. It kind of gave it the grit and the feel that wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yeah.
Anyways, Brent, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh, no worries. I think at least for me, for my mind, what's currently really reeling and starting to mix into scenarios is, of course, this red carpet way of life, this experience, this feeling, basically this feeling of fulfillment, this feeling of this sense of accomplishment with brands. Mike took us to 5, 6, 7, 8 brands, 9 brands, 10 brands. All of them felt, I'll stipulate, like all of the ones that should be feeling fulfilling were feeling fulfilling, and then there was like one specifically that Mike was like, that's not fulfilling, and it's not fulfilling. Won't name the brand on recording, probably is probably better the idea. But for one, we were at Raising Cane's, which is like fast food restaurant-ish type of place. Went there the first night after landing.
Smitty, you'd love this place.
Yeah, I mean the bread. They had bread there, probably the best bread. I don't know what type of bread, but
The bread. I was talking about the bread last night. We were there like 1 a.m, and she was like, "This bread is good." I was gonna tell her because I remember Lawrence just digging in with the last bit of it, going, "Yeah,
they are 4 items, so they better do them well.
Oh, so you know, Raising Cane's chicken.
4 items, I think.
yeah,
But it goes to show, Smitty, for people that again, very David Millsian, do a few things and do them very well.
Yep. Yeah, the bread felt really fulfilling. It also felt fulfilling for the people working there because you had an open kitchen. You had the people working there were like
they're dancing, having fun,
singing, having fun. I was like, okay, well, comparatively,
the food comes out hot. I'll tell you, we were there 1 a.m. last night, and the chicken tenders, they were warm, and it just felt great. A lot of times, like late at night, especially, you go to a place, but it's that way in the afternoon, all day. I mean, that's great. I mean, because that shows caring.
Yeah, and culture. It's not like peaks and valleys. It's stable, so it's really something. Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings, same thing. Fulfilling mozzarella sticks. Oh, the mozzarella sticks was like, damn, okay, it was worth it. Yeah. And then we had what was that, Smitty?
Buffalo Wild Wings compared to Raising Cane's is funny because they have such a broad menu. I love going to BW3 to watch sports and get slow service and be happy and eat some wings. The thing about Raising Cane's though is it's like kind of a lot like
Smitty, that brings me back. You saying that brings me back to that place that you used to work in Charlottesville. I ate a million. It was back when St. Louis Rams were lighting it up, the greatest show on turf.
Older,
remember?
20 at Damon's.
Yeah, Damon's. Oh man, so Smitty had this job at this sports bar, and it was while that must have been while we were doing the end. That's the only way that timeline would have fit. So that was while we were doing the store.
It was 98, I think.
Wow.
Or 90.
Crazy.
98
that's very, very much into when David and I had started the store. And that would have been kind of before and after Smitty started actually working at the store. By then he was already, from the very beginning, from day one, he was, the most important customer of the store. But anyways, he worked at this sports bar. And it was just kind of a great experience. We'd go over there with all the guys, Dan Carter, Sam, before he joined the dark side, and stuff like that, and hang out. And it was just a great experience. There, I'll always remember that, Smitty. It's good times.
Yeah. No, I remember that now that you mention it. It's funny. But what I was saying about like Raising Cane's is like they're very much like Chick-fil-A. Like, during COVID, obviously, I couldn't bartend, I couldn't sell wine, I couldn't do a whole lot of things that I normally do. So I did a lot of deliveries. And Raising Cane's and Chick-fil-A are like so goddamn efficient and so good. It's just like, I don't particularly love either of them as far as like, like the food's good, but like I'm not gonna go there on my day off, you know what I mean? But like their efficiency and the way that they do their job and how
I mean, there's things that we learn from the end and stuff like that are so special, and that we'll make sure to have be part of what we do, but we still really serve the things that people do well and appreciate them. And I think that's very smart of you, very wise. I mean, I spent this morning with Nikki working on, because we have so many now OMG websites that we're building, sites that we're building for OMGers, even though we've only just started OMG 2026. And so, he has us now set up in Dart, that Dart.ai that he showed during the webinar. He now has like all the tasks set up, for me and him and his team to look for, for each different, looking at Zach's website, looking at Eric's website, looking at the, the AC repair website, of course. We're talking with you guys now, Kurt's website, and so on, and all the different tasks and so forth. And because Smitty with food, and because Smitty's just great at business, and he's great at the value experience of business. It's why David and I turned to him again and again. It's why he was intrinsically wrapped up in what we were doing with our store at the end, and then with Area 51 Lifestyle, which is a major business that we did with Mystery, that we talk about it a lot with this venture here. And then even when we started OMG, he was right there and learning a lot of the key things that were going on with it, with some of the software James Upjohn and article spinning. He understood like a lot of the things that were going on, the process behind the scene that was making it happen. And so he's very aware of these and Smitty and I would talk about the process of a business and how the business would run. And we ran, I mean, it's still to this day, and it's all-time great business with our first game store that we started. And so Smitty, when restaurants are efficient, like with the delivery and stuff like that, there are all these compounding advantages for the client, for the business, the people that work at the business. It's a better feeling. You don't run into these little jabs from customers that are disappointed, that are frustrated with you. Can you explain kind of the difference for these guys? Because a lot of that stuff we're really baking into OMG 2026. And Matt,
yeah, it's very similar to like right now at the hotel we're hosting AB InBev, and if you don't know what that is, it's the Anheuser-Busch InBev. Well, Bryn probably knows because it's nearby over there in Belgium, I believe. So I think it's probably the largest beer producer in the world. And they make Stella Artois, they make Bud Light, they make many things. And they have also acquired a bunch of good companies, one in Virginia, and sort of taken over that branding. And they have the happiest employees you'll ever see in the whole wide world, like by far. It's always a joy to have them.
Just for you guys' information, at this time, Smitty's working at Kimpton, high-end services for, like, if they do banquets and, of course, day-to-day stuff for them as well, or if they, host like a big event and so forth. So he's dealing like on kind of the front lines with a lot of, the experience of those people. So that's kind of where these insights are coming from. So Anheuser-Busch brings in this large convention to this Charlottesville Kimpton and brings a bunch of people in, and you see these people just kind of constantly reflecting back that they're just having a terrific time with their work.
Well, yeah, and like right now, like we have Argentinians, Peruvians, Colombians, Belgians, Russians, Czech, and Americans, and there's probably some folks from Italy, all in this like group of like 60 some employees that are coming to the business school, which I'm adjacent to.
At
Darden,
yeah. So that's University of Virginia's business school, which is good. It's good. It's not Wharton or anything like that.
MBA school. Yeah. And they're all coming there, and it's like so wonderful to talk to them, and they're like so nice.
Yeah.
And, they're curious about you, and you're curious about them.
And you know a lot about the alcohol business, and so do they. Yeah, it's fascinating.
It's a joy.
And again, so I think that your point is that in so many ways, it's a very well-run business, that they respect ideas, they respect the experience of their customers. Now, obviously, you mentioned Bud Light. Bud Light, just had one of the all-time advertising mess ups in world history. So we're not saying that these people are without flaw, but there's at least some things that they're doing right, and those things that they're doing right we want to observe and we want to capture. And
I actually had one of the guys ask me about that. He's like, "Is there still a stigma to Bud Light?" I was like, "Nope, Not
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah,
It,
kind of
it's
kind of
gone.
water under the bridge. Yeah, it's kind of water under the bridge. Although, I mean, I'm sure for some people a bit here and there, but for most people, you just kind of go back to
Well, like, yeah, like 6 months, a year ago, um, there was a guy who told me that he would rather drink his own urine
like,
than a Bud Light, but like I don't see that reaction very much anymore.
right. Yeah, no, you're on the front lines and you see it. You see it.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, somebody will wind up
But
tending to it.
the parallel to that is that like these folks are probably making 4 times as much as an average Chick-fil-A employee, right? Um, but my parallel is that like a Raising Cane's and Chick-fil-A employee are like just as happy as these guys and dolls that are selling, for this like enormous international company.
Right.
So
And
whatever
Raising Cane's
going
pretty new.
on
Yeah.
at Raising Cane's and Chick-fil-A that's making their employees so happy.
Yeah.
Gotta
Yeah,
have
they're really building things more employee centric. Really able to do that. I talked to you guys a lot about the differences between how we marketed the original OMG and how we're planning on marketing, OMG 2026, which is just a big difference, and it's much nicer for you guys. It's a much better experience because I'm able to turn my formidable talents more inside rather than catering to to outsiders as well. Kill. Yeah, great. And again, Smitty, so big a part of that is you as the employee. Like last night, I went to McDonald's, and I'm not going to get a McDonald's employee fired, but man, I mean, they wouldn't even. It was 2 a.m. They wouldn't even enter the drive-through at all. They just that was it. And people will be relying on them. I mean, that sucks. That's a bad experience. And I'm not going to complain, but somebody else will. And it's a bad experience being working at a business and having to hear somebody come in and say, I'm not having a good time, And so, we really want to, but that said, there's a
I
really
have one more example.
Yeah.
Do you remember Bodo's?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. So Bodo's, like Chick-fil-A, will have a line out the door, like 30 people long.
Yeah.
And the person who's 30th outside the door is still through there in like 15 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely smartly.
It's a local bagel shop.
They have a Chick-fil-A, like Smitty's saying, they have a Chick-fil-A that's at the Six Flags in Busch Gardens in Tampa, and this will have an enormous volume of people on a busy day, and they just fly through the orders way faster than the native services of the park itself.
If the entire United States ran like a Chick-fil-A, we'd be much more efficient.
Well, and so this is the point, and also again this kind of mixture of efficiency without losing the human element. I mean, Smitty can tell you from our days with the game store, I looked like Captain Jack Black Sparrow, like I must have been just out of my mind. But that we were like printing money. I mean, we were like printing money, and I mean the whole town revolved around this. Like all of the industries that coincided with children and teens. Every restaurant owner would court us to try to get some deal with us.
At 10 o'clock in the morning, there were 29-year-olds outside waiting to buy Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, it's the way we ran the show. So we're gonna have a very beautiful environment, a very welcoming environment, a very empowering environment, a place where people's excellence gets recognized, appreciated, a place where friends come together in Providence, a city on a hill. David Mills, we're so fortunate we have David to watch over it, and it's his plan, and we'll flip the entire philosophy of the world this way. We will flip the entire philosophy of the world from black to white, from wrong to right. And this is how we'll do it. Okay, great episode. Congratulations, guys. I'm not trying to be cryptic. I'm, conspiracy theorists. Yes, we're going to directly just change the world with a lot of implication, one philosopher at a time. a very, very, very beautiful time here, and we'll do it. Business is a great way, guys, to demonstrate philosophy. It's a great way to skill up on philosophy. It's just fine. God didn't screw up by creating business. Put it right there. We can do business when we do business, and we can enjoy time with friends as well. We can enjoy time with God as well. And this is a place where you can do all those things at a given time. All right, God bless. Great, magnificent event. Once again, Smitty really brings it home. Almost nobody here had any time to prepare. I had some time last night to run some games, and I did. But then Smitty comes through with something like this for us, and basically a tour de force case study on. I started talking to you guys about how silly it is to build a deck in fours, and how David really doesn't do it, and you miss out on a whole opportunity from doing that in refinement. And Smitty did such a great job of showing us how we do that. Masterclass, beautiful. Appreciate you, Smitty. Another great one, masterclass. And then once again, thank you to Bryn for putting together the event, and Lawrence and Jeremy.
Also, Bryn,
working with them.
All that together. I was very, 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 very much wishing I was there.
Oh
yeah,
man,
thanks, Smitty.
we missed
Wish you were there too. Next time though.
Yeah, we missed you. Well, I mean, this will lead to next times, and there's other things. And of course, we have next time actually is in Richmond, so it's coming up. Next time.
Book your flight to Richmond now, Bryn.
What was that?
No. Richmond, do not come to Richmond, Bryn. Get rest. I'm
I'm
sure. Bryn's like, oh my God, I wanna go to
Well,
Richmond.
I'm actually considering. So just
What's that? Yeah,
considering
I'm
it.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure you need to catch up on sleep. I'm sure it can't possibly make sense to be worth it. But anyways, irregardless, great. Yeah, we don't want to like turn our own cultish ability to convince each other to like make it so we never ever get sleep and never ever can get anything done. And, we have to kind of reload and redo things, and it's going to be very complex with a bunch of people around, and it can be expensive travel and all that stuff. So, but we'll refine things, and we'll get things going, and this is it's all leading to more and more of a cohesion. It's all things are David's plans are like this, guys. Like you just have to watch David take apart a video game, and then you understand. Like by the end, it's just total in a competitive sense, or if it in a nice sense, if you want to talk about like baking pies and baking cakes, it's like the most beautiful, amazing pies and cakes you can even imagine, or even can't imagine. All right, this went way over time, but it was well worth it, and it was nice. We got a little bit of extra time to reflect on the weekend, and so that was nice. Also, special thanks to Michael, to Tokyo Gary, Michael Freeman, Michael Finley, Michael Spears, everybody's acting. It's a great community we have here. God bless you guys. We'll see you next week, and then we'll see you in Richmond. Wow, bang, bang.
Bang, bang.